Well, you're all smiles.
Well, I mean, first off, we set this a couple of weeks ago, anticipating commentary after the debate. My thoughts are that President Trump came out looking like $1,000,000, and she came out looking like a fool. This was a colossal defeat for Kamala. And you ask why? Well, people can. Now, I've been involved in political debates. I've been involved in lots of media interviews, court cases where I've been put on the spot. And I've always, every time I've done something like that, I've said, oh, golly, I wish I'd said this, wish I said that. But at the end of the day, people take general impressions away. Yeah, there may be a one-liner here, one-liner there. The president got some great ones in on her. We can talk about that. But again, as I often like to say, let's start at 30,000 feet. One, he looked presidential because he is presidential. He's been president. Cool and calm as a cucumber. Did not get rattled. Answered the questions. Yeah, I wish he'd said some things he didn't say, but that's beside the point. He looked rock solid. And people were warning, oh, he's going to lose it. Never did. I mean, it's almost a replay in some ways of what happened back on June 27th when he faced off Biden. On the other hand, she looked like a freaking clown. What do I mean by that? I mean, all this flailing with her hands. She looked like a clown flailing with her hands. She did not look presidential at all. She smirked over and over and over and over and over again. And that contrast in impressions is going to set with people. It's going to help finish her campaign. I mean, the libs try to spin it as well as they could. Oh, she didn't do this. She didn't have a gaffe like Biden, but she blabbed. And it's interesting. They will say the Democrats will accuse you of what they do themselves. You're going to hear a lot of lies, she says, but then turns around and denies that she ever called for the ban of fracking. You're going to hear a lot of lies, she says, but then turns around and makes it appear that she is against, late-term abortion when, as Marco Rubio pointed out last night, she voted against the Born Alive Protection Act as a member of the United States Senate. So they throw lies left and right, but the general impressions are going to be what carries the day. And she looked like a flailing fool. She looked like a clown who had obviously memorized lines, but one thing she did not look was presidential. So you have calm, cool, steadfast hand in Trump versus a flailing fool. And when you look at the way she answered the questions, and we'll get into the specific questions in a minute, I want to give you some general impressions. But the one question that she failed to answer, and she failed to answer many, even from a friendly, liberal, in-the-tank ABC news media, part of the deep state media, the one that she failed to answer that I think is perhaps as poignant as many is when David Muir, to his credit, I think it was David Muir, he didn't ask her too many hard questions. He asked her, do you take responsibility for what happened at the Abbey Gate with those 13 Americans? And any commander-in-chief, if you're going to be a commander-in-chief, you take responsibility for the victories and the defeats, and ultimately it is your responsibility to take responsibility for the deaths of Americans. She flailed like a fool and deflected and went off into la-la land and showed to any veteran like me or anyone who loves our military, she showed that she acts like a fool and is not even will never be close to being worthy of commander-in-chiefship. And I thought that was significant.